All right, find the slope of the line containing the points. All right, so we have to use the slope formula here, which is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. All right, rise over run. Y's over the x's. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2, just goes in the order of the alphabet. All right, so we have 6 minus 0. Just be careful plugging in your values. Negative 3 minus negative 3. So I have 6 minus 0 is 6. I have 3 plus 3. So I get 6 over 6, which is 1. My slope is 1. Find the slope of the line containing the points. All right, once again, use the slope formula. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, so I have negative 3 minus y2, which is 7, over x1, which is negative 3, minus negative 9. Negative 3 minus 7, negative 3 plus 9. So I end up with negative 10 over 6. All right, and then simplify that. Divide 2 into both. I get negative 5 over 3. All right, and slope, you always write as an improper fraction. Done. Find the slope of the line containing the points. All right, slope once again. Know how to find your slope. It's used very often in algebra. All right, so I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So y1 is negative 5 minus y2, which is negative 5, over x1, which is 7, minus x2, which is 2. So I have negative 5 plus 5 over 7 minus 2. I get 0 over 5. All right, if 0 is on top, your answer is 0. Only when 0 is under is your answer undefined. All right? When 0 is under, undefined. When 0 is on top, 0. Graph the line of the equation, plot points on the grid and not off the grid. Okay, so we need to have our linear equation in slope-intercept form. It already is. Fantastic. I need to identify my slope, which is 5 over 2. My y-intercept, which is 4. Okay, so first thing you do is plot the y-intercept. You just go up or down the y-axis. So I'm going to go up. I'm at 4 here, and then I go up 5 over 2. I can't do that, so I'm going to go down 5 and back 2. Just do the opposite. Down 5, back 2. All right, and there's my line. Graph the equation. Once again, we need to have our linear equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I have 6x plus 5y equals 30. So first thing I do is I subtract 6x. Now 5y is equal to negative 6x plus 30. Divide by 5. Y is equal to negative 6 over 5x plus 6. Okay, so first thing I do is identify the slope, and identify the y-intercept. All right, so I go up 6 to start with. All right, now when you apply the slope, don't use the negative for both the numerator and the denominator. Just stick the negative to the numerator, and that'll prevent mistakes from taking place. So I'm going to go down 6 and right 5. Alrighty, that's it. Write the equation of the line passing through the points. Okay, this is very similar to what we did before. First thing, in order to construct a line, all right, you need to figure out the slope and the y-intercept. Slope, super simple. We did that plenty of times before. y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. All right, there's your x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug the information in. That is, no, I thought I plugged it in wrong for a second. I'm good. So that's 9. and then minus 0. Okay, so I have 1 plus 2 over 9. 3 over 9, 1/3. So my slope is 1/3. Now I need to plug that in to the equation. Now to figure out b, you choose either point, x and y values. It doesn't matter which one you choose, you'll still get the same result. This one has 0. 0 always makes life easier. In this case, much easier. So that's gone. B is equal to -2. All right, so that's my important piece of information, and so is that. Construct the equation. Y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Done. All right, write a linear function f with the values. Okay, you just need to know how to interpret this notation here. This is your x value. That's your y value. That's your x value. That's your y value. All right, and everything else is the same. All right, need to figure out the function y equals mx plus b, or since we're talking about a function, it's f of x equals mx plus b. All right, y and f of x are the same thing. All right, so let's figure out the slope. y1 is 2 minus y2, which is 6, over x1, which is -6, minus x2, which is 0. All right, so I have y equals 2/3 x plus b. Now to figure out b, I use either point. Once again, I have 0 here, I'll use that one. So I have 6 equals 2/3 times 0 plus b. That's gone, b equals 6. Awesome. All right, so now I could construct my function. Y equals 2/3 x plus 6. All right, and writing it out as a function, it will look like this. All right, just replace y with f of x. Done. That's all there is to it. Find the equation line with a slope and contains the point. All right, this problem is actually easier than the ones we did before. All right, so once again, y equals mx plus b. They already gave me the slope. Fantastic. Don't have to do the work there. Now to figure out b, I just use my point. Plug in those values. I get 0 equals half of -8 plus b. All right, 2 goes into 8 4 times. All right, just add the 4 over to the other side. B equals 4. Now I could take this information, plug it in. Y equals half x plus 4. Done. Write the equation line passing through the points. Okay. Very similar to what we did before. Y equals mx plus b. That's my x1, that's my y1, x2, y2. Figure out the slope first. So I get y1, which is 8, y2, which is 0, over x1, which is -5, minus x2, which is -3. So I get 8 over -5 plus 3, 8 over -2, which is -4. All right, so I have y equals -4x plus b now. You choose which point you want to use. That one has a 0 in it. I'll use that one. So I have 0 equals -4x, which is -3, plus b. So I get 0 equals 12 plus b. Subtract 12. And -12 equals b. Take that and plug it in. So I get y equals -4x minus 12. All right, really easy once you get the hang of this. All right, for this problem we're talking about point-slope form. All right, so just so you see the difference between the two, this is slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. And this is point-slope form. It's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, Now, this is slope-intercept form because you could identify the slope and the y-intercept. This is point-slope form because you can identify the slope and one of the points that the line passes through. All right, piece of cake. First, we figure out the slope. So m is equal to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. All right, x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, then I have y1, which is negative 8, minus y2, which is 7, over x1, which is negative 6, minus x2, which is 12. So I get negative 15 over negative 18. And that simplifies to 5/6. Yep. Okay, so I take this, I'm going to plug it in, and now I just need these values. Okay, and you could choose either point in this case for x1, y1. Plug it in, and you're done. All right, so the answers may look different depending on the choices that you choose, but if you simplify it, you'll go back to this and get the same thing. Okay, so I just plug in the information. I'm going to use 12 and 7 in this case. So I have y minus y1, which is 7, is equal to 5/6 times x, which is x, and then minus x1, which is 12. All right, you could have just as well used negative 6 and negative 8 for x sub 1 and y sub 1. All right, and the answers may look different in the end, but if you simplify this, if you distribute, and then you add the 7 over, all right, it doesn't matter which point you choose, you'll still end up with the same equation. All right, that's what they're asking for, point-slope form, there it is.